What's up, guys? My name is Scott and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics, and today we're going to have a little bit of fun with a 10mm and about 100 pounds of clay. We're going to be using this Glock Gen 4 Model 20 chambered in 10mm, and we have several different types of ammunition we're going to use in today's video, all of which is Underwood ammo. I want to give them a special thanks for supplying us the ammunition used in today's video. Be sure and check them out. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below that will take you right to their website. Now here's a look at the ammunition we're going to use in today's video. We're going to start out with a 115 grain Xtreme Defender. Then we're going to move on to a 140 grain Xtreme Penetrator. Then we're going to use a 180 grain jacketed hollow point. Then a 200 grain jacketed hollow point. And then we're going to finish up with a 220 grain lead flat nose hardcast. I will leave the advertised ballistics for all this ammunition in the description down below. Now let's head outside and get started. First up is the 115 grain Xtreme Defender. Alright, first off, we've made it through one. Well, those are stuck. Alright, now that I've got these separated, we can see that we made it through one block, into the second, and we made it into the third block. We did not exit the back of the third block. So the first block we hit here, look at this huge cavity that it left in this first block. Get my whole hand in there, no problem. Very impressive. Now we'll move this. Our second block, it still left a pretty big cavity in it. So you can tell the bullet is starting to slow down. But that's still a pretty big hole in the second block. And then we stopped in the third block. And that bullet still had a lot of energy because we went pretty deep into this third block. After I did a little bit of digging, I found our bullet. Still looks great, just covered in clay. Up next is the 140 grain Xtreme Penetrator. Okay, I went ahead and separated the blocks. We entered the first block, went through the second block, went through the third block, and we stopped in the fourth block. So we entered the first block, made a pretty decent hole, left a pretty big crater in this first block, but not as big as the Xtreme Defender. Continued on into the second block and out the back. Left a pretty decent crater inside the second block as well. Then we continued into the third block and left a little crater in there. Came out the back. We didn't go very deep into the fourth block. And here is our bullet. It's covered in clay, but still in great shape. Now let's try a 180 grain hollow point. So here's our first block, and we hit this block pretty hard. Left a pretty big cavity in here and like blew the top of this clay up, which is pretty cool. So went through the first block, and then we stopped in the second, and you can actually see the bullet in there if I can get some light. Alright, now you see the bullet. See, we stopped in the second block. We're about, I don't know, I fit about one finger in there. Almost made it about halfway through the block. And after some digging, here's what's left of our bullet. Not a whole lot. Now let's try out a 200 grain hollow point. Alright, I separated our blocks. Hit the first block, went all the way through. Second block did not make it all the way through. So the first block has a pretty big hole in it. Left a pretty big crater in there. I can get my whole hand down in there. About the same as the 180 grain hollow point. So we went into the second block, and the 200 grain hollow point went a lot deeper than the 180 grain hollow point. And here's our 200 grain hollow point. It looks like it held together a little better than the 180 grain hollow point. Okay, last up is the 220 grain hard cast. So if you're looking for penetration, the 220 grain hard cast is the way to go. Went through all 4 blocks of clay, and I don't know if it went through here. I don't see any fresh holes. I don't feel it anywhere in here. It probably just bounced off the table, to be honest with you. We made a pretty decent little crater in that first block. So I had some good energy transfer. Can't fit my fist down in there, but still a pretty big hole in that first block. Looks like it just plowed through the second block. Left a pretty nice round hole all the way through that thing. In the third block, went through that. You can tell the bullet's starting to slow down because the hole is smaller, but still had enough energy to push through that fourth block, and I don't know, it doesn't look like it was slowing down too much. Still left a pretty good size hole in that fourth block. So real quick, we're going to weigh these bullets. We know that when we shoot the clay, it's really hard on the bullets and they tend to break up. I wanted to show you something else that's cool about the Xtreme Defender and the Xtreme Penetrator, which are a solid piece of copper. So first up is a 180 grain hollow point. We got 98.8 grains. Now the 200 grain hollow point. We got 155.2 grains. Now the Xtreme Defender, which is 115 grains. We got 115.4 grains, which the 0.4 is probably the little bit of clay I didn't get off of it. And now the 140 grain Xtreme Penetrator. You got 140 grains exactly. So not only do the Xtreme Defender and the Xtreme Penetrator penetrate well and leave a pretty good size cavity in the clay, especially the Xtreme Defender, but they also retained 100% of their weight. Alright guys, that's it. I really had a lot of fun. Really enjoyed shooting the clay. We're going to do this same test again with ballistics gel, but I just wanted to go ahead and shoot the clay first and see what our results were. And we had some pretty cool results. I was really impressed with that Xtreme Defender. I cannot believe the crater it put in that clay. Which leads me to today's question, which is a simple one. I just want to know, what ammunition did you like most today, and which one would you like to see more of? So leave your answers in the comment section down below. That way I can get your feedback. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you're a new subscriber, don't forget to hit that little bell. It's going to give you notifications when we upload new videos. And we upload new videos every week. Sometimes you'll get 2 videos a week. It's rare, but it does happen. Also, if you're interested in Kentucky Ballistics clothing, there's a link in the description down below that will take you to our shop. Also, links in the description down below that will take you to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget to check us out over there too. Once again, my name is Scott. You've been watching Kentucky Ballistics, and I'll see you next time.